Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty fascinating. Self-efficacy.
Yeah, it's a concept that comes up a lot.
Definitely. We've got a bunch of frequently asked questions as our source material, and our aim is really to unpack what self-efficacy is all about and, why it matters for you listening.
Exactly. I mean, ever wonder why some people just seem to bounce back from, well, anything, while others kind of struggle?
Yeah, or how much believing you can do something actually affects whether you do it.
Precisely. That's where self-efficacy comes in. It might just hold some answers.
So we'll look at the definition, how it's not quite self-esteem.
Important distinction.
What builds it up, where the idea came from, how it connects to motivation and doing well in school.
And feedback, too, how that plays a role.
Okay, cool. So let's jump right in. What is self-efficacy exactly? Like in simple terms.
Right. Simply put, it's your belief, your confidence in your own ability to succeed at a specific task or in a particular situation.
Specific task.
Yeah, it's really focused. It's not about your overall personality. More like, do I think I can handle this?
So you could feel really capable, say, giving a presentation, but maybe less so about coding something.
Exactly that. It varies by domain.
Okay, so you mentioned it's not self-esteem. That feels important. How are they different? Because they sound kind of similar.
Yeah, they do get mixed up. Self-esteem is more your general feeling of self-worth, like, am I a good person overall?
Right, just general feelings about yourself.
Whereas self-efficacy is purely about competence belief. Can I do this task? You could have really high self-efficacy for your job, for example, even if you're having a rough time personally and your self-esteem isn't, sky high.
Ah, okay, that clarifies it. Got it. So if it's this specific belief, what actually shapes it? Where does it come from?
Good question. Albert Bandura, the psychologist who really developed this idea, identified four main sources.
For sources, okay.
And the first one, often seen as the most powerful, is mastery experiences.
Mastery. So like succeeding at stuff.
Exactly, your own past successes. When you tackle something and succeed, even if it's small, it builds your belief that you can handle it, or something similar, next time.
Makes total sense. Actually doing it and seeing it work.
And interestingly, those early successes in a new area can be, disproportionately important for building that initial confidence.
Okay, so direct experience is number one. What's next?
Number two is vicarious experiences,
Vicarious, meaning?
meaning watching other people succeed, especially if you see those people as being kind of like you.
Oh, right. Like if they can manage that, maybe I can too.
Precisely. It's learning through observation. Seeing someone else navigate a challenge successfully can really boost your own belief that you could potentially do it too. It's like a mental practice run.
Okay, so doing it yourself and watching others do it. What else?
Third is verbal persuasion.
Ah, like people telling you can do it. Encouragement.
Yeah, exactly. Getting positive feedback, encouragement from others whose opinions you trust. Someone saying, hey, I really think you've got this, can definitely nudge your self-efficacy upwards.
A bit of cheerleading helps.
It does. Though, Bandura noted, it's often most effective when it's, realistic and ideally followed by an actual chance to succeed. Empty praise doesn't stick as well.
Right, needs to be somewhat grounded. Okay, and the fourth source.
The last one is physiological and emotional states. Basically, how you feel physically and emotionally when you're facing a task.
How you feel affects your belief.
Absolutely. If you feel really anxious, stressed, palms sweating, you might interpret those physical feelings as a sign you're not up to the task.
Oh, wow. So feeling nervous could actually undermine your belief, even if you have the skill.
Yes. Conversely, feeling calm, energized, positive, that can reinforce your sense of capability. It's about how you interpret those bodily signals.
That's fascinating, that mind-body connection there. Okay, so we have these four sources building the belief. How does this belief then translate into action, like its role in motivation?
Oh, it's huge. High self-efficacy is a major driver of motivation. When you genuinely believe you can succeed at something.
You're more likely to try harder.
Exactly. You put in more effort, you persist longer when you hit obstacles, you're more resilient to setbacks. You also tend to set higher goals for yourself.
So it's kind of a positive feedback loop. Believe you can, try harder, achieve something, believe even more.
You got it. And the flip side is also true.
What happens with low self-efficacy then?
Well, people with low self-efficacy in a certain area tend to shy away from challenging tasks in that area.
Avoidance.
Yeah, they might put in less effort, give up more quickly when things get tough, And they can also dwell more on their perceived shortcomings and potential negative outcomes. Can become a bit of a self-limiting cycle.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and you mentioned academic performance earlier. How does this play out in, like, learning or school?
It has a really strong impact there. Students who have high academic self-efficacy, who believe they can learn the material, master the
They
skills.
do better?
Generally, yes. They tend to be more engaged, they participate more, they work harder on assignments, they don't give up as easily on difficult problems, and yeah, they often achieve at higher levels. It's that belief in their capacity to learn that fuels the effort.
So believing you can understand, say, difficult math concepts actually helps you understand them.
It certainly makes it more likely you'll put in the sustained effort needed, yeah.
Okay. And one last piece, feedback. How does feedback fit into building this belief?
Feedback is critical, particularly constructive feedback.
Not just praise.
Right. Feedback that acknowledges effort and progress, points out specific strengths, but also gives clear, actionable guidance on how to improve that kind of feedback can be incredibly powerful for building and reinforcing self-efficacy. It shows someone that improvement is possible and gives them a roadmap.
So focusing on the process and effort, not just the final grade or outcome.
Exactly. Yeah. It tends to build a more robust sense of capability.
Okay, great. So let's try and quickly sum this up. Self-efficacy is that belief in your specific abilities for specific situations.
Uh-huh. Task-specific confidence.
And it's built through actually doing things successfully mastery,
Watching others succeed vicarious experience.
getting encouragement, verbal persuasion.
And how you feel physically and emotionally when facing the task.
Right. And this belief is a really big deal for motivation, persistence, and ultimately achieving goals, especially in learning.
Absolutely. And feedback shapes it along the way.
So understanding this whole concept gives you, the listener, a really useful lens to look at your own potential.
Totally. Recognizing these sources means you can maybe be more intentional about seeking out experiences or support that could help strengthen your belief in yourself in areas that matter to you.
Definitely some useful stuff to think about. So, maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about a challenge you faced recently. How might knowing about these four sources, your past wins, who you saw succeed, what people told you, how you felt, maybe change how you tackle something similar next time?
Yeah, and just reflect. What role did your belief in yourself seem to play in how things turned out?
Good questions to ponder. Thanks for this fascinating deep dive.